Sharks have lived for more than 400 million years, and thousands of species have gone extinct across that time. Today's sharks are pretty crazy. Take the whale shark stretching up to 60 feet long but surviving almost entirely on plankton, or hammerheads, with their bizarre heads giving them full panoramic vision. But prehistoric sharks made today's sharks look like fish tank pets. In this video, we're diving deep into 15 of the most jaw-dropping prehistoric sharks ever recorded. From creatures with anvil-shaped backs to those with spiraling chainsaw mouths, these extinct monsters were the kind of nightmares the ocean had before humans ever showed up. Number 15. Hybodus. Hybodus swam the seas for more than 200 million years, making it one of the longest-living prehistoric sharks ever discovered. It lived from around 303 million to 66 million years ago and managed to adapt across multiple eras. Unlike many prehistoric sharks that looked nothing like their modern counterparts, Hybodus actually resembled today's sharks quite a bit, though it had a few features that stood out. The most noticeable were the two large spines on its dorsal fins, likely used as a defense mechanism against predators. Fossils of Hybodus have been found all over the world, a testament to how widespread and successful this shark really was. One of the most fascinating things about Hybodus was its double set of teeth. At the front, it had sharp, pointed teeth to catch and grip prey. Further back, it had round, flat teeth perfect for crushing shells. This setup meant it could handle both soft-bodied animals and harder-shelled prey. Hybodus may not have been the biggest, but it didn't leave many meals behind. Number 14. Cretoxyrhina. The awkwardly named Cretoxyrhina surged in popularity after an enterprising paleontologist dubbed it the Jinsu shark. Living roughly 100 to 75 million years ago, this apex predator grew up to 26 feet in length, larger than most modern great whites. Its jaws were packed with around 490 sharply serrated teeth, perfect for slicing through flesh and bone with brutal precision. Cretoxyrhina didn't limit its diet to small, easy prey either. Fossil evidence shows it went after massive marine reptiles and turtles, including the archelon, the largest sea turtle ever known. Even in oceans crowded with fearsome creatures, this shark held its ground at the top of the food chain. It was fast, agile, and built for killing, with a body designed more like a missile than a fish. Despite being one of the newer prehistoric sharks on this list, Cretoxyrhina was every bit as terrifying as its older, more bizarre-looking relatives. The fact that it didn't make it to the present day might be the only reason today's oceans are still swimmable. Number 13. Stethacanthus. Stethacanthus didn't look like a shark. It looked like something welded together in a deep-sea scrapyard. It lived roughly 360 to 340 million years ago and was small compared to today's sharks, with many species no longer than an average adult human. But what it lacked in size, it made up for in weirdness. Its most recognizable feature was a wide, flat dorsal fin shaped almost like an anvil, hence the nickname anvil shark. On top of this strange fin were clusters of enlarged denticles, tooth-like structures whose function is still debated. Theories range from mating displays to species recognition, but what's clear is that only males had them, meaning they likely played some role in reproduction. Stethacanthus also had a flattened head and body shape more reminiscent of a ratfish than a modern shark. It might not have been the most dangerous predator in prehistoric waters, but it's easily one of the most visually confusing. This shark is a reminder that prehistoric seas weren't just deadly, they were strange. Number 10. Edestus. Edestus was a shark that looked like it belonged in a science fiction film. Living around 300 to 320 million years ago, it earned the nickname scissor-toothed shark because of the way its curved jaws jutted out. These weren't ordinary shark teeth, they protruded in a vertical alignment, giving its mouth a serrated, saw-like appearance unlike anything alive today. It wasn't just the look that was intimidating. Edestus grew up to 22 feet long, putting it on par with the largest great white sharks alive today. But how it hunted may have been even more terrifying. Unlike most sharks that bite from the sides, Edestus is believed to have used a unique vertical slicing motion. It would thrash its head up and down to tear open prey, leaving deep, jagged wounds before finishing the kill. Its exact diet remains a mystery, but given its size and weaponized jaws, it likely wasn't picky. Edestus didn't just kill, it carved. And that made it one of the most unnerving predators in prehistoric waters. Number 11. Megalodon. Megalodon was the definition of prehistoric terror, stretching over 50 feet in length with jaws that could swallow a car and bite force powerful enough to crush a whale's skull. This shark was an apex predator in the truest sense. It lived from around 23 million to 2.6 million years ago and left behind fossilized teeth the size of a human hand. Megalodon's diet included giant whales, large fish, and other sharks. It dominated warm oceans across the globe, and its teeth have been found on nearly every continent except Antarctica. These teeth, serrated and thick, were designed to shear flesh and snap bones in seconds. Its size, speed, and raw strength made it nearly untouchable in its prime. Climate change and shifting food chains likely led to its extinction. As ocean temperatures dropped and prey disappeared, Megalodon couldn't adapt, but despite its disappearance, it remains one of the most iconic prehistoric animals ever discovered, a symbol of the ocean's most terrifying potential when nature doesn't hold back. Number 10. Xenacanthus. Xenacanthus, often called the eel shark, swam through freshwater ecosystems around 202 million years ago. While technically a shark, it barely looked like one. It had an elongated, eel-like body that helped it move easily through tight swamp spaces and sluggish rivers, places where modern sharks would have struggled. Unlike ocean-dwelling giants, this shark stayed small, growing to only about 1 meter in length. What made Xenacanthus stand out even more was its defense mechanism. It had a sharp spine extending from the back of its head, possibly filled with venom. That spine likely acted as its primary protection against predators larger and more aggressive than itself. Its shape, size, and freshwater habitat made it uniquely suited for survival where few sharks dared to go. Most of its life was spent weaving through vegetation, ambushing small prey, and avoiding larger aquatic threats. Xenacanthus may not have been the most fearsome predator, but it had the perfect tools for its environment, and that's why it lasted as long as it did. Number 9. Ptychodus. Ptychodus wasn't a flashy hunter, it was a slow-moving powerhouse that crushed anything in its way. Estimated to reach lengths of up to 33 feet, this prehistoric shark lived around 85 million years ago and made its mark not with speed or slicing teeth, but with massive molars built for destruction. Its mouth wasn't filled with fangs, it was lined with large, flat teeth designed to grind through thick shells and armored sea life. Instead of chasing down fish, Ptychodus likely spent most of its time foraging along the sea floor, feeding on giant clams, shelled cephalopods, and other hard-shelled creatures that few predators could handle. Some compare it to modern whale sharks due to its massive size and gentle hunting style, but Ptychodus was built more like a mobile crusher than a filter feeder. Its strength came from its bite, not its speed. Fossils of this shark have been found across North America, proving it once roamed vast, warm seas, silently pulverizing its prey. Number 8. Cladoselache. Cladoselache is considered one of the earliest true sharks, living around 380 million years ago. Despite that title, it didn't resemble today's sharks in any threatening way. It was small, lightweight, and built more like a torpedo-shaped fish than a heavy-bodied predator. Most individuals only measured a few feet long, and unlike modern sharks, Cladoselache had no scales or armor. Its body was long, sleek, and smooth, which likely helped it move fast enough to escape larger threats. Fossil evidence suggests it had large eyes and was a swift swimmer, relying on agility rather than strength. It didn't dominate the prehistoric seas, it survived in them. Despite lacking size or armor, Cladoselache had efficient teeth and a streamlined form that helped it adapt to rapidly changing ecosystems. Its importance lies in evolution. It was a bridge between ancient jawless fish and modern sharks, giving us a glimpse into where the entire shark lineage began. Primitive in design, but foundational in purpose, Cladoselache was evolution's quiet first draft of a predator. Number 7. Helicoprion. This thing didn't just look strange, it confused paleontologists for decades. When the first fossil was uncovered, it looked like a circular saw, and for years, scientists weren't even sure what part of the body it belonged to. Eventually, it was confirmed the spiral-shaped structure was its lower jaw. Helicoprion lived between 290 and 250 million years ago and used its bizarre whirl of teeth like a rotating blade to tear into soft-bodied prey. Unlike modern sharks, which constantly shed and regrow rows of teeth, Helicoprion's teeth formed a continuous spiral that remained part of the jaw. As it aged, new teeth pushed older ones forward, creating that buzzsaw look. It didn't have upper teeth, just this horrifying wheel in its lower jaw that sliced prey like a meat grinder. This shark was also a survivor, making it through the Great Permian extinction, which wiped out nearly all marine life. Its design may have looked impractical, but it clearly worked well enough to keep Helicoprion alive longer than many of its competitors. Do you love it? Number 6. Bluntnose sixgill shark. Unlike the others on this list, the bluntnose sixgill shark is still alive, and it's been here since the Jurassic era. This shark isn't just old in design, it's ancient in lineage, with ancestors that swam alongside marine reptiles and early dinosaurs. It can grow up to 20 feet long and still roams the deep ocean today, rarely seen because it stays far below the surface. Its name comes from its most obvious feature, 6 gill slits instead of the usual 5. It also has a blunt, rounded snout and a thick, bulky body built more for cruising than chasing. These sharks don't hunt with speed. They use stealth, rising from the depths at night to scavenge or ambush slow prey. The bluntnose sixgill is one of the last living links to the age of prehistoric giants. It carries ancient traits, old hunting habits, and a genetic lineage that has outlived most species on Earth. Its survival isn't luck, it's design that's never needed an update. Alright guys, now let's talk about number 5, Diablodontus. When paleontologists gave this prehistoric shark the name Diablodontus, meaning devil tooth, they certainly nailed the branding. Found in the Kaibab Formation of Arizona, this small shark lived during the late Permian period, around 260 million years ago, when the region was covered by a warm inland sea. While its name sounds intimidating, Diablodontus only reached about 3 to 4 feet in length and likely weighed close to 100 pounds. Still, it had enough unique traits to stand out. A close relative of the more well-known Hybodus, Diablodontus was notable for the spikes positioned on its head, which likely played a role in mating displays or species recognition. These paired projections may have also served as a secondary defense against larger predators. With a mouth full of sharp teeth and a moderately agile body, Diablodontus thrived in shallow marine environments, feeding on smaller fish and other marine organisms. It may not have been the biggest predator in its time, but it definitely left its mark, both literally and historically. Number 4. Falcatus. Falcatus lived during the early Carboniferous period, roughly 350 to 320 million years ago, and despite its small size, just about a foot long, it's one of the most uniquely preserved sharks from that era. Its fossils, found in abundance across Missouri, show a streamlined body built for speed, large forward-facing eyes, and a symmetrical tail, indicating that this shark was a strong, agile swimmer. One of the most curious aspects of Falcatus was the distinct sickle-shaped spine on the heads of male specimens. These sharp, curved structures were likely used to attract mates or for intra-species competition during breeding season. The pronounced sexual dimorphism makes Falcatus especially valuable in understanding early shark behavior and mating dynamics. Rather than preying on large creatures, Falcatus likely hunted small marine animals in shallow seas, using its enhanced vision to track movement in dim light. Though it didn't grow to an impressive size, its biological features tell a story of precision adaptation, and it's one of the earliest sharks to offer such detailed evolutionary clues. Number 3. Ischyrhiza. One of the most common shark fossils from the Cretaceous period comes from Ischyrhiza, a long-snouted predator that resembled modern sawfish and lived across the western interior seaway in North America. Reaching lengths of about 7 feet, Ischyrhiza wasn't built for speed or brute force. It hunted along the seafloor, using its tooth-studded snout to root out worms, crustaceans, and other buried invertebrates. Unlike most sharks, Ischyrhiza didn't rely heavily on sharp, biting teeth. Instead, its flattened mouth and unique rostrum did the work, acting like a rake to stir up prey. Its teeth, often found detached from the skull, were not deeply rooted, explaining why so many have been collected across fossil beds. While not an apex predator, Ischyrhiza played a crucial ecological role, similar to that of modern benthic feeders. Its narrow, saw-like snout was its primary tool, and its specialized feeding behavior set it apart from many of its contemporaries. Its fossils give insight into how diverse and adaptive sharks had already become by the Cretaceous. Number 2. Orthacanthus. Orthacanthus managed to survive for nearly 150 million years, appearing in the Devonian and disappearing midway through the Permian period. This shark didn't look like the kind you'd expect to see circling a reef. It had an elongated, eel-like body with a long dorsal fin that stretched nearly the entire length of its back. At the rear of its head, it sported a strange vertical spine, possibly used for defense or signaling. Orthacanthus live in freshwater environments like rivers and swamps, a notable trait considering most sharks prefer saltwater habitats. Fossil evidence suggests it reached lengths of up to 10 feet and likely fed on a wide range of aquatic life, possibly including large amphibians such as Eriops. However, direct proof of that predation remains unclear. What stands out most is how Orthacanthus adapted to environments most sharks avoided. Its ability to thrive in freshwater ecosystems for such an extended period marks it as a unique case in shark evolution. Few species, ancient or modern, have ever matched that kind of resilience. Number 1. Otodus. Otodus existed during the Paleocene to early Eocene period, around 60 to 45 million years ago, and while its full skeleton remains elusive, its massive fossilized teeth tell us plenty. These sharp, triangular teeth, some up to 4 inches long, suggest Otodus could grow up to 30 feet in length. That makes it one of the largest predatory sharks of its era, feeding on prehistoric whales, smaller sharks, and large fish. Unlike modern sharks whose teeth show highly serrated edges, Otodus' teeth were smoother, though later species began developing slight serrations, possibly a step toward the more brutal slicing tools of its probable descendant, Megalodon. While no full-body fossils exist, its size has been estimated based on jaw reconstructions and the scale of its teeth. Otodus didn't dominate the ocean through sheer aggression, it simply grew bigger and more efficient with each evolutionary stage. While not as well known as its famous descendants, it laid the foundation for the most iconic shark in history. It was evolution's heavy hitter before Megalodon took the crown. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon in the next one.